1. Unity, Now and Beyond, by Medusa DB Loveheart, The Last Warlock, Ancient Warlock, A New Age Alchemist, Part 1. Attention. This book might just demolish the future perspective you have completely. That said, please do enjoy the reading. Welcome back, old friend. I see you returned from the wild. I assume you had a lot to process from the last book, and yet you come visit me again. And where were we? Oh yeah, now I remember. The New World Order, one versa. One planet, one nation, time is financial ecosystem, one language, one timeline, year zero again, one law. We are all equally equipped with heart and brain. Dao Buddhism is foundation of total normality, norm, true, faith, truth, love, equality, coexistence. So, what does it mean and how does it work? We live in an old world today, and it is not working properly. The political climate is out of order, and with all the different perspective on the world of today, it is nearly impossible to achieve something greater of existence. We can control our future and control our planet if we just put our mind to it. We need to do a complete reset of the way we think today and embrace the possibilities of tomorrow. This step is the biggest step in human mankind. This is the true awakening happening. Even if it does not happen directly, it will happen over time. If this world is united, we will become more stronger and more powerful than you can ever imagine. We need to unite as one and still embrace our diversity to the fullest. We need to start managing our resources so that they last as long as possible and make sure we always have enough to take our next step. By doing this, we will always have enough food for everyone and always have somewhere to live and always be able to direct our future in the best possible way there is. For hundreds of thousands of years, we have created ourselves without being aware about it. Now it's time to take charge and gear our future in any way we like. It is a natural step to take. From here on, it can go two ways. Either we end it all and screw up, or we shape up and do something about it. I think we both know what direction we would like to choose. It's time to shape up. Instead of being a leech that sucks the earth dry, we must do a 180 grades turn and put a new mindset in our heads. It's time we become this planet caretakers and protector. We must wake up and realize we are the #1 predator on this planet and that it is our responsibility to make sure this planet never dies or lasts as long as possible. This is about us taking the step to become a higher form of civilization. We have bartered with goods for a long time now. First, we bartered with what we have. To get what we want, then money came into the picture. Money solved a lot of hard issues with trading. It was not practical to trade with items when you not necessarily had what you needed to get what you wanted. And it was difficult to bring the correct item to the dealer to trade with what you wanted. Money solved all this and made commerce much easier. Money is a great invention for a period of time, but that time has now come to its end, or at least closing into an end. Money now create a hindrance for us to move forward in great directions. In order for us to live in a world where we progress as smooth as possible, we need to live in a world where time is the currency we use. Because when we have time as currency, we control the amount by what we use over a whole planet. We plan and allocate resources after the whole population, and we make sure that we only use enough for us to have a great life. We will look at the planet as a resource and plan areas of each resource for us to use. We will plan so wildlife always exists in large enough areas over the world, and we will provide areas for animal farming and vegetables farming enough for us to always have enough food to live a good and healthy life. We will allocate minerals and metals so that it lasts for us, and we can build as many houses as possible we like in the healthiest material. We plan city areas and nature areas so that we have our green planet forever. We join forces in research and use the healthiest electricity we can use. And we join the world's forces in medicine to provide the most high-tech and modern healthcare we can possibly imagine. Without money, we can start living a green and healthy life where cars run on electric power, and we put our focus to make electric-driven cars as good as possible. We can start to manage continents after their nature and produce what they are great at. We can always choose the best alternative for nature when it comes to factories because money is no longer a factor. We can build the greatest cities in the universe both on height and width. But we can't exhaust our resources. Everything has to be done with great control on resources. We have to be very clever and invest a lot of time into utilizing resources and make new ones. We must become experts in reusable resources and invest a lot of science into that, which is not possible in a world of money. We would have a 6-hour workday and 24/7 open so that everybody has a work to go to. We will re-educate ourselves with no problem in life so that we always can follow our heart. Food would be controlled on quota per week so that there is always enough for everyone. By keeping the world as one and distributing resources on the entire population, we will have control over our resources. But we can't stop there. We have to expand out into space and start managing resources on other planets as well. We have lots of renewable resources on Earth, but some are limited and will deplete. We must be careful with those ones and manage them to last long enough for us to take the next step. We must start think big soon before it's too late. But there is a long way to go for this to happen. So how do we do it then? Well, that's where Dao Buddhism comes into the picture. It's an ism that includes all, doesn't exclude anyone. Dao Buddhism embraces evolution and sees the progress of change, and it's time to put things into history now. It's time to put the main religions into history now. They have done good for us during our evolution, but so much bad comes with it, and it's clear none of them has what it takes to bring this world further and unite us as we need. They do worse and have taken more lives than it brought good to this world. They should not be forgotten, though. We should be proud of our evolution, and we should study them with the yin and yang symbol on them in the future to see the opposites in them. Religions has fallen into history before, and it shall happen again. We can't have all this different religions and views of life when they all mean the same but causes so much friction between us. They served a purpose once, but are long obsolete. We must see the bigger picture now and accept that universe is part of us as well as we are part of universe. Looking at history, religions has a dark shade, hunting minorities just because they are different. Diversity is our greatest strength, and we should be proud over our differences. Just because we put our religion in history, we should not lose faith, because faith is important, and we need it in our lives. But we put our faith in ourselves, in our future to be, and the afterlife that is so much bigger than a simple God. We must learn to be able to embrace eternity in a new way, because there is no beginning and no end to this. We are just a small part of this beautiful universe, and it's there to be explored by us. We must become caretakers of Earth and explorers of universe. It's up to us to make it happen, not to anyone else. No one will do it for us. It starts with you and me. We must stop living in a lie. We must see the truth as it is and live by it. We live in an old world today based on values from religions made up thousands of years ago. We must end the old and start living in the new world. It's not an end, it's a new beginning. The norms of today won't exist tomorrow. Everything is already in place to make this happen. We have reached a point when it is time to take our next step. We have reached far into the information technology age, and the next step isn't physical, but it's mentally. This is a time for everyone to make a change for the better. For the old people that hasn't done much to help the earth, they have a chance to finally do something right. For the old, it's the hardest, but this is an opportunity they can't miss. There is no time to be selfish and feel sorry for yourself about all the changes, but to be the bigger one and do it for our future. This is for our future. This is for our planet. This is the biggest step we have ever taken. This is bigger than you and me. It's about humanity taking the step into eternity, into infinity. This is about us taking the final step to become a higher form of civilization. This isn't just a temporary change that will help us in the near future. It's a change for eternity, even for when we have left this planet for good. This is about making our species a part of universe forever. There is no time to feel foolish or upset over that you haven't seen the truth till now. It's evolution, and this are the way things goes. There will be millions of evolutionary steps if you just get a grip and make this step. Change is part of our nature, both big and small changes. The first book might have upset you, but it's simply the truth as it is, and we have to move on from the old world and shape up majorly. The people of today will have a new purpose and meaning to life. This future will expand this planet out in space and go on forever. This is a unique time we live in, a time where all the loose ends come together and starts a new beginning, a time where we really learn from our past and put thoughts into action. We set the rules for how ours and other civilization will evolve and what checkpoints to go through. We will amend evolutionary thinking and start a new era of how things will evolve. When this happens, we will start to have control over our own future. We will gear our own evolution in the direction we want. We will do it by taking many steps enough in order to reach our goal. This time it will be a whole planet aiming for the same direction in all areas and working together as one. It's not like we will do the same things as everyone, but we will have a mindset that enhances us and strive to reach the goal. We will be able to plan every step we take in any direction we want. There will come times when the only option is to work as one, a situation we can't handle with today's world. We will stand before challenges that are out of proportion, and we can overcome anything by working together and function as one unit. This is all in a distant future, and we have plenty of time to reach that goal. We will start to invest time in our future evolutionary steps we take, and we'll be able to make estimations on when the goals will be reached. The beauty of this is that we only have to take many steps enough in order to reach our goal. Then we will fulfill it and fine-tune it and evolve that too. Of course, there will come new discoveries that will change the course of our path, but we won't have any problem adjusting to that. It's only a question about time. This is the way we must go in order to survive the future. We must take this step in order to be able to continue to exist. Today we consume without any ideas how our future generation will manage to live and survive. We just use up all resources and don't have our future generations in mind of how they will manage to live and continue to evolve. Today the way we live, this planet's resources will deplete and vanish, so our future generation will exceed to exist. We live a way of life that will end our and this planet's existence prematurely. It's an unresponsible way of life and very selfish mentality we have today. We simply can't go on in this old mentality of living. We have to make drastically change in how we live in order for our future generations to stand a chance to survive. The way we live today will not only deplete our resources, but our wildlife will get extinct as well. Today massive of natural life get extinct, and that's only because we are careless and reckless about how we live. We need to save our diversity in nature and keep it as great as possible for our future to continue to spire. Our diversity is the key for our future evolution, and it is in great need of first aid as it is now. The fewer species there are left, the poorer our evolution will become in the future. We won't survive if we don't come together and live as one planet united working together. We must be able to manage this planet as one living organism rather than the way of life today, where we more remind us of the life of a parasite. We must become predators once again and live as this planet caretaker. In the future, we will caretake many planets and become caretakers of universe. The way we are living today, we are killing this planet, and it goes faster and faster. Today, we are closer to 8 billion people on this planet, and we will grow fast. With this amount of people, the Earth as we used to know it won't live long. We can't get on with the old way of life when our ever-growing population is getting massively bigger than it used to be. With this big population, we must start managing the planet's resources and plan its wildlife so it will last and be enough for all of us. This is a necessary change that we simply must choose in order to continue to exist. We can't go on and live as we did when it was only 4 or 5 billion people on this planet. When we live as one planet united, we can start planning and manage life on it, so it flourishes and grows instead of shrinking and exceeds. We can plan our wildlife and look after it and make sure its regrowths where it needs to be regrown and make sure that it always big enough for our diversity to continue to exist and to evolve. We will be able to plan the areas of provision on this planet to always be enough for our entire population. By starting to plan our resources, we will manage to expand and grow as planet as long as possible. We are closing in on an age where we will be exploring space and eventually populate other planets, and it's important that we treat this planet with great respect and care so that it lasts for future generations. Generations of today haven't done much for future generations, and that will be a great change for people of today. We have to start embracing generational thinking and evolutionary thinking. We must leave the old world behind us and start all over again from scratch with this evolutionary step. We will have year zero again as the new world takes place and makes all the changes in the world of today. People should be ashamed over the way they live today. The change won't happen over a night. It will take about 5 to 15 years to get everything in place once many people enough have come to the mind to live in the new world and many countries enough decided to join this venture. You see, the whole world doesn't need to join up for this to start to take change. Only many countries enough will do. The rest will come in time. But it is quite many countries that must gather up to be able to start the alteration. We will need to make sure we have all the basic foods and resources that we need for our population to be good to live. We will start to live in a mixed mood where we still have currency to trade with the old world and make it possible for tourists to come. Everything will be managed by quota of resources and food. We will always have enough for everyone, and not just a minimum living but a good living, and that is all possible with nature management. We will be able to set aside areas of land enough to make sure we all have a great living standard with enough animals and nature resources for us to live. But we must be smart. We shouldn't just let a few come up with our quota system, but let scientists all over the world work out the greatest system ever so that we have the very best to live with. In the future, everyone competes in how to make things better for us, and that's something to get used to. Because we don't have to worry about money, we only invest in the time it takes to implement the changes. One way to go is to have a plastic card with all the details for each and every one, or even better use biometrical system with fingerprints or eye scanner. It's just a matter of coming up with the very best solution for the people of Earth to live by. In the beginning, we will start to plan and prepare for the future way of life. Start planning areas of land for food and living, making plans for basic needs such as electricity, water, and waste management. We will have two systems going in the beginning as parallel to each other, one for the new free world and one for the old world. The old world system is only for show but a necessity for us to coexist together. We will start cleansing the world from old polluting ways and step by step make things as environmentally friendly as possible. We will start populating electric cars completely and get rid of all the old cars, making sure there is electric chargers enough all over the world or in the beginning in all the countries that's in this. We will invest a lot of time in science and how to make everything much better and always keep the environment as number one priority. We will plan our natural resources so that wildlife always has room to grow and flourish, making sure this will always be a green planet with fresh nature and great diversity. We will start to see a new planet and a new life come in place. We will start using more eco-friendly products and make waste management as healthy as possible. We will plan waste management after this planet's capacity and make sure that it's not going over the edge. We will raise the bar for eco-friendly resources and keep evolving it until it's no longer a burden for our environment. We will have all these possibilities because of the new world and its financial system of time. We will invest a lot of time in science, and there will be a lot more scientists than today. Education will become a major important part of our existence, and we will make it so there is always time to educate yourself. Because evolution goes much faster since we reach the information technology age, there will be need to re-educate in life to keep up with the progress of our evolution. Schools will become majorly important to us, and you should be able to educate yourself no matter how old or young you are, or how you have done it earlier in life. You should always have a chance to pick up where you left off or reimburse your earlier studies. Education and work will be equalized since both are equally important to our existence and ongoing evolution. Student on a higher level will play an important part in our evolutionary progress when they will be aiding scientists to reach new goals. Students and workers will stay close together with cooperation between them so that we always stay on top of things and keep evolving as good as possible. You will be able to live your life and work within one area until you feel that you are done with that, and then go back to re-educate yourself and start a completely new era of your life. You never have to worry about finance, but live your life after your heart all the way. Education will be a big and important part of our life. Most people will become some sort of specialist within an area of field and work deeply on evolving that area. School will always be at top, and teachers will re-educate themselves many times to stay in the lead of their area of expertise. Not everyone will be specialized in an area. Many will live so-called normal lives and do normal work. But with this new ecosystem of education, there will always be a little bit more to it. Healthcare will have major improvements in their existence. Now there won't be a problem with enough staff to take care of people because of bad budget. A lot of research and investments in science around healthcare will be provided, ensuring we always have the best possibilities there is for us to handle whatever comes up. We will have enough people to properly take care of the elderly and the handicapped. Now they will have lots of time to spend with each and every one so they can fill people's life with meaning and gratefulness. In a world without money, people that want to work with people and help others can really do that and put all their efforts in without having to worry about and suffer from bad circumstances, which will make them happier with their work and more satisfied. There will be a lot of progress within both science and technology to aid the ill and the wounded ones. With more investment in science, there will come cures for everything eventually, and we will advance incredibly much within the science of medicine just by investing more time into that field. There will be people that won't work, and that's a fine option as well. Everyone must make the elementary to go to primary school and get a default education. After that, it's up to everyone to get on with their life as they feel like. However, there will be perks to continue educate yourself and work. When doing nothing but living life, you get a basic quota for you to live in a normal, not too much, apartment and food enough to live on, not too little, still good enough, but when you educate yourself and work, you get a little bit more of everything. You will get little rewards everywhere by educating or working, not just self-actualization, but as perks in life that makes life more joyful. Work and education are also rewarded with great honor, and the whole world is based upon bringing our species further. However, there will always be people that don't want to work or educate themselves, maybe just a period in their life, and that's just fine. Most people want to have something to do since it's their identity and helps them feel good about themselves. Then there are a few that will go through life just living it and enjoying everything there is to be without work or education. That's just the way we are, and we shouldn't fight it. We are all equally important, and we are all equally different. The quota system will be rewarding for those who strive to make a difference and bring us further in evolution, but never on the cost of the basic right to existence. We should all have the right to a good life with great quality, no matter what we choose to do in life. This is only possible with time as currency, and we need to have that in place. Sooner than later is better. The choice of having a work won't be that hard since we will have 6-hour shifts 4 times a day, so it will be open 24 hours a day. It won't take up that much time of you, and you will have plenty of free time to do whatever you feel like doing. Great for parents who will have more time with their kids and the family. 6-hour workday is only possible with time as currency. It won't work in the world of money. This is necessary for us when population is doubled from today, and that isn't very far in the future. We grow fast now, maybe 15 to 25 years until that is true, or maybe more. I'll leave that for the experts to be told. The way of today might work for a few more years, but we will soon be so many people that money will ruin everything for us. We can't sustain a normal world with money soon. With the population doubled and with that many people in the future, and even more people further ahead in money, it's almost impossible for us to become caretaker of this planet, even less the rest of universe. There won't be enough money to take care of all the needs such as waste management and health care, and the food supply will be ruined and no care about the nature if we live in a world with money. Not to mention there will only be a few that has money enough to live a good life. We can't support equality with money, not even today. It's even between us. Throughout our history, we constantly failed to achieve equality with financial means. You must see the truth as it is and not as you think it is. The planet will be considered a living organism that houses life upon it, and we will treat its resources with utterly care and respect. When everyone has joined in, and we finally become one planet, one nation, the big things will start to happen. We will start looking at the planet in a completely new perspective. We will plan all land and sea masses, and there will be a lot of preparation before we finally hit DEFCON 0. We will live with money for a while before everything is ready to go over to the new world, but it's our money. This planet's money, so we don't really have to live poor before it completely changes. We have to remember that we created this system with money, and we can create a system without money just as well. We must make places for all the farmers that needs to be in order to provide all the necessary food for us. We must plan out the wildlife reserves over the entire planet and prepare for regrowth where it's needed. We must collect seeds from all trees and flowers and bushes so we always can regrow and expand our nature when needed. We must calibrate the life of the sea so we can repopulate the fish and sea life that need to be reproduced. We must make sure that both farmers and fishermen take care of reproduction of its used resources. Reproduction will become an equal major focus for those who work with it. We must calibrate the static resources on this planet so that we mine and drill in proportion of what's needed, and that we don't deplete it prematurely. We also need to calibrate for how long we will have those resources, and when is the minimum time for us to go look for it on other planets or find a substitute for it before it's too late. We have to create enormous databases to capture all DNA and information about all our ecosystem. And we must have systems for quotas and resource balance. All this will happen when we first join forces and decide to become the new world with only partial countries and regions, but in smaller scale. The real big change comes when everyone is in the new world, and we have the entire planet to our disposal. We will have to start plan the living areas for both now time and future time. We will have designated areas to build and grow as population, and we will become masters at building in height when our numbers get big enough on this planet. We will build with great imagination and fantasy, making the most beautiful cities we can ever imagine. We will compete in architectural design and let the most creative and most beautiful designs be built. We will reflect our past culture in each area be shown, so we always remember our roots. We will make our cities gorgeous and vibrating with culture. Amazing shapes and forms on our buildings will dazzle us wherever we go. We must take this opportunity for a fresh start and do the best of it. There will be a lot of competing between us in the future in order to get the best of the best in almost every situation. In this way, we keep the stimuli of competition between each other, and we nurture our efforts to go that little extra step and perform our best. Remember, everything we do it for us, for our future to come. We no longer need to worry about money, we only need to worry about time, and in the sense how long time we still have left on this planet. The end date for when we must leave and become space travelers for real, meaning all of us. Our main concern is how much time do we have left on this beautiful planet and to become as advanced as possible before that day comes, so that we can journey through space with as rich and powerful life as possible. Our quest to explore the moon and Mars in the near future is of the greatest importance for us and our evolution in space journeys and how to exist in space. We still have loads of time before that day comes, but it might be closer than we hoped. It all depends on what this planet limit is to population growth, because it has a limit for what it can handle. And if that's not the problem, we have another limit, and that's when the planet explodes into the sun, but that's a very long time until that happens. We must start considering us as one unity, as a massive unit. We must learn how to say, we are, and not just I am, as we done until now. First, we got to find ourselves in order to be able to say, we are. We are one unity, we all come from the same roots, we are all humans with different shapes and colors. Roots do unite, as the great Bob Marley said, and we all are the same species, and it's time we stood up for us and started to see the humans as the true defender and caretaker of this planet. We must start seeing us in the bigger picture, our evolution, and what's our next natural step to take. We must see us for what we are, the species human being. We existed for 200,000 years, and through our existence we have had myths, religions, and societies that has come and gone away. This is a natural step for us humans to take, to put old religions behind us, to grow as species and take responsibility for the planet that have given us so much. Always giving, never ask for anything back. It's time for us to start give back to the planet. It's time to protect and caretake this planet with all our heart, and to give this planet a final moment of peace and make it proud over producing such a fine species as the humans. We happen to be this planet top of the chain species, and there is no time for our planet to bring up another species to carry on out in space if we would wipe ourselves out. This planet has evolved for millions of years and had all kinds of land life and sea life, and then a pixel of its existence, it produces the species human beings so fragile and yet so excellent. We should be proud over our planet and grateful it has been so marvelous to produce such a complex species as us humans. We all come from planet Earth, and that's our true roots no matter you like it or not. We must embrace how diverse we are because that's our true nature. We have reached a time where technological progress happens so fast, we are no longer reacting to change. A time when our population grows faster than ever before and will continue to do so. This is a natural step for us to take, and it will happen even if not immediately but over time. It is time for us to wake up and smell the roses, to see the truth about our existence, and to start taking the responsibility we are supposed to take. There is a bigger picture than just living your life and work, eat and sleep. We have passed through so many evolutionary steps, and there is endless of steps to take if we just wake up and start take responsibility. This is the evolutionary step, the awakening, and it is happening for real. It's time to wake up from 1,000 of years of coma where we believe that diversity is dangerous and chasing false happiness for so-called money, where we have had a minority living the life of a lifetime, and the masses working their assess of in order to make it through. Where some people haven't even had a home to go to. Where people have been slaves for a group of people, and we have had a fake hierarchy where only a few selected ones has been treated as kings. It is time to wake up and see that our true nature is sexual, and that the old world has clouded our view of what's normal and not. Religions has held us back and blinded us from the truth for thousands of years, and it's time to put an end to it. We need to wake up and start take responsibility over our planet. The way we live today, we are nothing but parasites leeching from this planet, sucking it dry. We are better than that. We do have what it takes to step up and save this planet for as long as possible. And we do have what it takes to bring this species further into infinity, into eternity. Yeah, that's what we are talking about. Bringing our species into infinity, into eternity. There is no end and there is no beginning. Universe has existed for eternity already, and we just happen to be lucky enough to be a part of it. Question is, do we want to continue to be a part of it, or do we just want to be a blip in its ancient? The universe contains mysteries and wisdom in its ancient, and we have the humble opportunity to be a part of it and to explore it all through generations of generations. There is billions of galaxies, and the chance that we would be alone is quite slim. We will meet aliens, and that day we have to be prepared. By the time we stumble upon alien life, we must become advanced enough for us to outmaneuver them and be superior in every way. We will only accept diversity as our greatest strength and aim to coexist with them unless they declare war. Then we defend ourselves. We shouldn't stray away from our principle. We should strive for peace with any species we stumble upon. Universe isn't ours, it's everyone's, and we just happen to be a part of it. We are caretakers and defenders of this planet and universe, and we should never stray away from that. We raise above simple greed and hunger for destruction. We are talking about infinity into eternity here. That's a very long time. We will evolve many times over, and who knows what the future holds for us. We owe this to our next coming generations. We must start seeing what kind of responsibility comes with being number one species on a planet. We can't keep sleeping and not see the truth. Our spaceships will evolve, and our massive fleet will travel great distances, and we will find new planets to populate, and some we will leave alone to its own evolution. We will be journeymen of space one day, and that's pretty impressive. Welcome, dear, into the future. By living in a world without money as currency, we will have eliminated the factor of greed for power completely. We will redirect the element of greed towards the progress of our evolution and knowledge. We will no longer have a few with tons of money living a life in luxury, but everyone will be equally rich in life. It will be a completely new world order, and we will eliminate the gap between societies completely. This way we will have a new way of equality. We will no longer segregate different groups of people, and man and woman will be equal in all ways, since salary won't be a factor anymore. It won't matter where you are born or in what family you are born, but we will all have the same chance in life. And that's a great strength we are missing out today. Instead of having a small group of selected ones bringing this world forward, we will have a major army of intellects that will work for our future together. We will become so much stronger and brighter with a world without money. It's not even comparable with the world we live in today. We would have almost 8 billion people that would educate themselves as much as they want and become high scholars of different areas compared to just a margin of that can afford a good education. We would be a top-notch planet with billions of brilliant minds working to bring us the greatest life we could ever have. It will become a completely new ecosystem of education that will grow vastly over time. The status of teacher will become majorly honorable and will not even be close as bad as it is today. In every corner of the world, we will have a new young brilliant mind that breaks the barrier of what can be done. We wouldn't be able to take care of all those brilliant minds in a world with money. Fact is, as it is today, we can't take care of the few ones we have. But that's not the case in a world where time is currency. Then we can take care and nurture every single one of us, because all it costs is time. When all this is in motion and the ecosystem starts to work at its fully function, the evolutionary progress will start to go faster than before. We will have updates and patches to our existence with a few years interval. We will be a planet in constant motion and a planet that never sleeps when the population grow big enough. We will still need a police force all over the world to keep everything nice and comfortable for everyone and to maintain law and order, but crimes will go down since the absence of unjust treatment of life standard is completely gone. Without money, we won't have any reason to commit crime in order to gain benefits for ourselves. But there is still violence that needs to be dealt with, but that will go down as well. We will have a completely different world to live in when we are in the new world. At first, before all this happens, there will be a lot of chaos. A lot of people will have a hard time accepting the truth as it is, and a lot of people will get upset with the facts coming with this. There will be a lot of wild discussions, and a lot of denial will happen. Some will go backwards and hide from the truth as good as they can. In the beginning, people will be divided between accepting and non-acceptance. But the longer the time goes, more and more will wake up and see the truth. It will be a loud and noisy waking up from a long slumber. People will deny and call it lies and become horrible versions of themselves. But it's necessary. This is a must for us to be able to take this step and bring our species into the future instead of getting extinct. Some people will deny it long and hard. All we can do is have a lot of patience and spread this message as good as we can. This is a new beginning. This is the beginning of the greatest step humans ever taken. This is the final step we take before we start the journey as a higher form of civilization. Over time, enough people will have come to their senses so that this will be the path we take. It might take long time, it might take shorter time. The important thing is these starts moving and people start to wake up one by one, step by step. The quota system would be based on points. The points would be based on supply and demand and the availability of the product. For food, the points would be distributed in relation to supply and the amount you would get every week. Every week you get a certain number of points so you can get what you need. It will be a good number of points that will give you more than enough groceries for that week. It will be so you can choose to eat out all week or buy food home. If you have a family, the points will be adjusted to that situation. The points will be adjusted so that it knows if it's food or magazines or anything else you are getting, and it will be reflected on the quota. There will be a quota on everything. If it's electronics, it will be a quota on how many of a certain item you can have per person. It will consider of renewal circle. If renewing some item, the recycling will be considered. So, you register a return of the old product and can get a new one after that. Same goes for cars and boats and other vehicles. The quota will be on the number of items you can have per person. Healthcare will be free. Just like there is business quota for resource-consuming companies, there will be medicine quota that doctors approve for, if needing prescription medicine to treat your illness. Movies and music will be free, and phone calls and internet would be free. The companies would get company quota for their needs of resources based on availability and future plans of how to sustain the resource. This way we can manage resources all over the planet to last as long as possible. That goes for the static resources. The renewable ones will be carefully monitored that they are renewed in a manner that's satisfying. When it comes to IT, software will be free and hardware will be on quota. Exactly how the quota system is going to be is left to be created by having a competition between scientists all over the world to create the most perfect quota system and the best one we choose. The points will start getting distributed at a certain age, decided by all of us. Let's say the age of 10, just for the sake of it. But then you won't get a full score but a little chunk so you can get some toys, or whatever you need at that age. And that will remain until you get authoritative, then you will get a full score and can be as any adult is. All this will be monitored and revised every month, and adjustments to behavioral patterns will be made accordingly. There will be static quota points and floating quota points. The floating quota points gets reset each week, so you can't save points there, for example food points. Others such as cars and house quota points will be static and last as long as you have them. There will be a party point so you can get extra enough to throw a party every now and then as well. You will always have enough to have friend over at dinner. It will be a complex quota system that will be perfected and completed when the whole planet is on board. But it will be up and running from day one when we are many enough to start the new world. There will be quota on traveling in different ways. Electric cars are free. Trains, there will be a ticket system in place to make sure there are enough seats, but it will be free from quota, and airplanes have quota and boats without electric engine or sailing has quota. Basically, anything that consumes resources or is a constraint on nature will have quota. We only need one language. We have invented way over 100 languages, and we only need one. When we enter the new world as one unity, we must do that to 100%. To be more correct, we only need one world language. One language that is spoken and written all over the world. We must choose a common tongue for us to speak so we all can understand each other. Communication is of major importance for us in the future. We can all keep our native tongue, but we need to have a second language that will be our main language so we all can communicate with each other no matter where we are. The world language should be taught already from elementary school so that everyone has it as a second mother tongue. We will be bilingual by nature, and we can choose to learn more languages if it's in our interest. But it's out of utterly importance we have a world language. We are one planet, and we will have one united language. We can do this in two ways. Either we choose an already existing language as our new nation language, or we make a completely new one. That won't be a problem. We can easily create a new language, but the hard part is to get everyone to start using it. We will let everyone have a say in this like with everything else. We simply vote for the suggested languages we have, and let the top choice become our new world language. Languages are an important part of our identity. It defines who we are in more than one way. It's a part of our culture, and now we will have a new culture and a new identity with the new world, and all what that means. The world language will be used on each nation's TV, on many channels, and movies will be in the world language, and so will also radio be. The internet will change to the new world language as well. We will make sure that the new language is influencing us majorly in any way possible, so it's a natural choice for us to use it. A common language is important for us. It will unite us and make us whole as one unity. We will use all media to influence us with this language, and we will be able to communicate with the entire world. Since we can move around and live wherever we want to in this world, this is a must for us. Not to mention all the politics and decisions about the world will be made in this language. We will break down the language barrier and open up a completely new world which is a perfect fit with the new world order. No matter what the new language of this planet will be, it will be a game changer like nothing else. And if we choose an already existing language, the ones that has it as mother tongue today can choose to read a second language in school at free choice, so they too become bilingual. It will not only break down the barrier between languages but also cultures. Now we can all communicate our culture and history and create a greater understanding of each other. It will take a while, but eventually everyone will be able to communicate with each other, and things will change majorly. We will become brothers and sisters all over the planet, and we will be proud over our different cultures. It won't matter where your origins are from. We are all equally different, and we can all understand each other. By breaking down barrier after barrier, we will grow closer to each other, and our unity will grow so much stronger. The way we live today works fine for today. We live without any mind of the consequences of tomorrow. Today we don't care about future generations and how it will be for them to live. We consume as if there is no limit to anything and don't bother to think one more step ahead. The generations of today are extremely unresponsible and careless about anything but themselves. The way we live today with no plan and no thought about the future, we won't last long. We live without any real vision today, and everyone is jaded to take responsibility for tomorrow. We are so consumed by ourselves today, and yet we are more connected to the world than ever. The generations of today haven't put a single effort for the future generations to come when it comes to the planet. We just use and deplete this planet of its resources, thinking no further than the nose reaches. Everyone likes to talk about the nature, but no one does anything about it. It's a reckless living we live today with no responsibility taken for the future. We can't have it like this anymore. We must wake up and start take responsibility for the future to come. We must start using generational thinking for real. We can't just think, well, it works now, so there is no problem. We can't just assume someone will take care of it, or it will work out fine. We must see the truth and what our possibilities are. This evolutionary step isn't for you or me. It's for all our coming generations to come and our species' future into infinity, into eternity. This is it. This is a chance for you to do something right with your life. To do something to be remembered of. We must stop being selfish and feeling sorry about ourselves, and do something for not just your future but for humanity as a whole. For all coming generations and for this planet. You can't be so absorbed with yourself. It's time you did something for your children and your children's children. This is the final test for humanity as we are today. This is the new beginning everyone is waiting for, even if it's not what they expected. We have here a chance to set the course for humanity for the rest of the time there is, in other words, into eternity, into infinity. This is your chance to be a true hero. There will be many similarities from the new world to today. People will be registered as working or studying or unemployed just like today in order to keep the quota right. And companies still have to declare their work outcomes in order to see they are not overemploying people in relation to what they do. This new system will make it so much easier for companies to exist. If they grow in demand, they simply just employ more people, and if they have new projects that are uncertain, they can still employ enough people to give it a go. People can dare to take risks now and invest time in new projects that they never been able to in the world of today. This will open up for scientists to invest time into projects that used to be too costly to even try to think about it. We will have a completely new opportunity to explore new grounds that was not possible before. Of course, the world would have a main focus in our evolving process, and that being governed by the leading organs of the world. We would still have a focus on the progress of our development that has been elected by the people, so we never lose track of ourselves. But that's just a part of everyone. There will be plenty of opportunities for the people to take part of. It will be easier to become your own entrepreneur and for you to follow your heart. It will be easy to put your efforts into a business and to give it a real chance and see if it works. If it doesn't work, you simply close shop and move on. For some of the businesses, there will be quota, for example, restaurants. We can't have everyone open up restaurants because it consumes resources. There will be a limit to those businesses that consumes resources and a demand of productivity as well as successful consummation of their product. So, it isn't a waste of resources. In order to open up a resource-consuming business, people have to apply for a business permit and be approved for that area of expertise. Whatever you want to work with, there will be an education for it. There will be many work-based education that might be a bit shorter in its program in order for you to get a license to work within that field. Even if following your heart to you means open up a business right away, it's better if you have a basic education within that area. There will no longer be a problem with understaffed businesses, but there will be a control of overstaffed places. But it will be a generous control, so you don't have to worry too much. Education and work will be equalized because it's evenly important to work as it is to have the right skill set to work. If you're an artist, you have to apply for a work permit if you paint or sculpture things. But if you're an actor or singer or an entertainer of some sort, then you only must register your own company. We will encourage artists no matter genre to do their work because they are so important for us and our stimuli. Artists are such a vital part of our everyday life, no matter if it's music or movies or theater or opera or just art in any form. They will be celebrated and honored for the stimuli they give us that we need so much. Without those stimuli, our imagination would become dull and our inspiration to new invention would slowly fade. Without artists and art, there would probably be a major depression and the world would look totally different. We need entertainment no matter what mood we are in. It helps us get through hard times, and it lifts us up when we are in a good mood. It channels our anger and boosts our romance. We should strive to boost our stimuli in all directions for us to have as good life as we possibly can. The new world leader will be ambassadors of planet Earth. It will be 2 people, 1 man and 1 woman, reflecting our species' nature. To that there will also be a supreme board with 2 people from each continent or domains, you may call it, that are advisors to the ambassadors, also 1 man and 1 woman each. Then there will be 2 representatives for each country or zone, you may call it, also 1 man and 1 woman. The political organ will be in the form of a yin and yang with 1 blue drop and 1 red drop in green as the border lines. The blue drop will represent the people that are true truth or mind, and the red drop will represent the people that are true love or heart. And the green border line represents the people that are nature's guardians and Mother Earth's protectors, Mother Earth that gave birth to human beings. The blue and red representatives will grow and shrink in relation to the condition of planet Earth. The blue drop will concern with true truth and mind matters such as science and its progress, and the red drop will concern with heartly matters such as the well-being of the population. The green ones will have the ultimate say in everything with Mother Nature as primal priority. In the new world, we will vote electronically with the combination of 1 voting app and 1 identity app, so there will only be 1 vote per person. In this way, people can vote with their phones or computers or whatever device they choose to use and don't have to go to a location to participate. This will make people more involved and raise the number of participants in each vote. The political organ will be elected every 8 years, so there is time enough to make a decent progress for each pair of ambassadors. There is also a scientific faculty that is based all over the world whose task is to support the political organ no matter who they are. The science faculty consists of top scientist teams from all areas of expertise and are of major importance to the political organ. The science faculty will on its hand always work with each and every country's elite such as magister, doctorate, and masters as well as students on universities. They will all play a vital part in the process of evolution. Each country will have an organ of a red and blue yin and yang with green borders to look over the zone's progress and maintaining its well-being. The leaders of those organs are the ones represented with the ambassadors. In order to be in politics, you have to educate yourself with relational thinking, generational thinking, evolutionary thinking, opposite thinking, and loose-ends thinking, and many more topics. The red and the blue drop will take turns in being out with the people and getting to know the people as they are there and then, while the other drop calibrates the needs reported back to them, keeping a healthy balance between mind and heart, soul and spirit. There will be parties representing blue, red, and green, and from them they will be voted into the organ of yin and yang in every zone. There will always be 50/50 of men and women in politics. This way we have local knowledge and overall knowledge about this planet. There is a middle step that needs to be taken before we will have everything in place for the new world. And that is when we all join together. We need to get one currency and money to be able to see the whole picture and get the right understanding of our completeness. Maybe I shouldn't say we need to, but we might just have to take that step. And that will be a good practice of what is to come in future progress. It will be the most short-lived currency that has ever existed. It's nothing new about that step. It has been done before and isn't any problem at all. Only difference is now we don't have to meet any demands of well-being because that's not our goal. We just must see our common resources and even out the economy before we switch over to time as currency. This middle step currency is the one we use to trade with the old world when we have moved on to time as currency. As mentioned before, we will have two financial systems in place for a while when there is still an old world and new world coexisting together. For how long that is left in use is left to find out. And now it all starts. Now we will get a taste of what it will be like in the future. When we create the new financial ecosystem, we will let every country compete with each other to come up with a system in order to get the best system there is for us to live with. Every country will produce a DNA strain of financial ecosystem for us to choose from. We will not discard any choice completely, but we will choose from them and let a few moves on to the finals. With all the existing systems we have now, we will look at them and pick out the bits that are best even from those who didn't get elected to move on. In this way, we will get the absolute best system there is. We will take the bits that are good and put them together with the ones that moved on. This is how we build a road to walk on instead of just a thin line of DNA strains. We will only need to take many steps enough to be able to move on, and we do it step by step, one step at a time. When I say DNA strain, it means that we are dealing with living ecosystem that affect our lives and therefore become biological. Just like DNA contains variables of codes that decides how you look and work, so does the ecosystem do for us as a planet. And also, just like DNA can be tweaked and cut out and put together in different parts, so can the ecosystem. The science faculty will keep an overview of how it's progressing and report to the political organ, who will explain it to the people with help of the science faculty. This will be represented on TV like a TV show, only this is about our future to be. At first the concept will be presented, and the different zones will give us an idea of what they have in mind. Then after a certain time decided by all involved, the show will start for real. This time it will be the financial elite in every country that does the math and come up with a great system. When the whole world is in this venture, then each continent will select one or two winner that represents in the final. Now we just select 5 to 10 finalists because we don't know how many countries on which continents will be in this. First, the show will present the different ideas one at a time, with each zone explaining the purpose and consequences of their system. It will be mixed with entertainment and simplifications from the political organ. It will run over 5 to 10 shows, or maybe more, so every zone has a fair chance to present their idea. In each show, in the end, there will be a vote for who's going to the final. It will be done electrically, just like many shows today. The entire nation gets to vote, and it will go on for a few days so people can watch it again and really get into each idea. After the 5 to 10 shows are done, and the finalist has been taken out, it's time for medley. Here we look upon the finalists and try to see their weaknesses, and then we look at all the contributions and see if there is anything we can use from their solution in the finalist contributions. Maybe there is no weakness in any of them, but there might be some real goodies in the ones that didn't make it to the final. This will be done by the science faculty and the expert teams of each zone. There will be a couple of shows of puzzling, and there will be no voting this time. Maybe they will come up with a completely new system out of the ones that was suggested. In that case, that one will go to the finals as well. Now it's time for the finals. The finals will show the contributions one more time, both the altered and the ones that remain the same. There will be in-depth explanations of each one, and then there is the final vote. Again, the voting will go on for a couple of days so that everyone has a fair chance to get into the final contributions. Then it's the end game. The winner will be represented, and now there is only one thing left, and that is to see if the science faculty or any of the experts team would like to alter the final contribution with any of the segments from the other contribution to get a top-notch system. If they do, they must represent the idea and explain why this would be a good idea and better than the one we already have. Then the people take a vote again between the new idea from the one that won. Now we finally have the ultimate system to use for us. This is just a taste of what it will be like when we use politics in the future. The show will always be hosted or co-hosted by the ambassadors. We will this way have a completely new way of building our future. We will build a road to walk on rather than a thin line, and that's a major change we will benefit from. The political organ will be more of a caretaker and maintainer of the different systems. They will be the ones putting the political map in place every time there is a new progress ready. They will deal with the final product that has been compiled by the world elite teams. They suggest what comes next, and people vote for the different suggestions, deciding what order it will be and see what direction we are heading. They will be the ones that keep an eye on everything so that it remains in control and alert if there is something that needs a patch or an update. They also have the vital responsibility to control the resources of this planet and make an estimate on how much we have, both with the ones we know of and are extracting, but also the ones we still aren't extracting. They will constantly monitor this planet's resources and update the quota system as needed. From the progresses that are suggested by the political organ, there might be just a few that can handle the work of it, and a major voting contest might not be possible, but we can still vote for it to get it done in a particular order. Some projects will be out of bigger nature and stretch over years. Then they will give us status updates and progress reports about that project. Some things are just a simple matter of choice of what we want, so there is just a single vote for it. For example, the world language choice. We should probably wait with the world language choice until 75% of the world is in the new world. That's not carved in stone, just a suggestion. We must see what everyone feels and has to say about it. In the beginning, it's a bit tricky to decide everything, but we must come to an agreement, all of us, and then go for it. The sooner the better, in my opinion. We will invest in time. That means to take things slowly and be thorough in order to have as many options as possible and make the road as wide as possible when building the road of evolution. That's something that just isn't possible in today's world of money as financial ecosystem. Today, it's all about getting things out as fast as possible and to do it as cheap as possible to make as much profit as possible. There is no thought about quality and evolvement for the future. The financial ecosystem of today is limiting us massively when it comes to progress in all areas, just because there is not enough funding to do that. It's usually because you don't have the money to hire the needed staff that it requires. Today's world suffers from greed for money and power, which often go hand in hand. And it's a very destructive force that ruins a lot of opportunities and ruins a lot of lives. Today there is a huge gap between the rich and the poor, and there is no sign of it getting any better. In fact, it is getting worse and worse all the time. With time as currency, we will have plenty of opportunities to choose from, and things will be possible beyond our wildest imagination. Money won't do it for the future of this planet. It will ruin everything. And to put things straight, time is not money. Time is the saver of this planet and is the only true choice to go for. When time is the financial ecosystem, we can use as many people we need for as long time it needs in every situation, and that will be a must for us in the future. Time is vital when you build roads to take many steps enough in order to reach a goal. And it can't be utilized not even near in the same extent in today's financial ecosystem, since time and money is not even remotely close to each other. Time and money aren't really related to each other, even though time is a part of money in the sense we get paid per hour. Time doesn't get its true nature revealed with the current financial ecosystem. To invest in time is to take the time it needs to take many steps enough to reach the goal. To invest in time means you are thoroughly in each and every step you take. The professions of today within economy will change into investors of time, and will need the same amount of education as it is for economics today. Time is a dimension of its own and shouldn't be taken lightly. We are all animals of the same planet. We are all equally equipped with heart and brain. Mother Nature is all about diversity. There is not one tree, flower, or bush that are the same. There is not one bird, cow, or bear that are the same. There is not one snowflake that are the same.